Texas League Baseball is next. And a good Wednesday night, everybody. I'd like to welcome you into our live broadcast of Texas League Baseball here in South Texas. And now here's the star of the show, the one, the only, John Baker. Thank you, Bob. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the broadcast, as it is the second game of our six-game set between the visiting Corpus Christi Hooks and your San Antonio Missions. Well, tonight's Military Appreciation Night here at the ballpark as we salute those that serve in uniform. And also, if you are military service, you could come to the game for free. Just show the proof of your military ID. They'll let you in the front gate as you present the ID, and so far, the ball game is out on us for tonight. Series continues tomorrow. It's a Flying Chanclas return here in this one, both Thursday and Friday night games, as we'll have Taco Bell Value Night here at the ballpark, and also Friday. Spend your weekend with us here at home as the Missions continue their series against Corpus Christi. $2 Dr. Peppers all night long on Friday night, as we'll have Chanclas baseball and $2 Dr. Pepper. You can't beat a great deal like that. Missions continue the series on Saturday as we'll have post-game fireworks after the ball game. Don't forget on Sundays we wrap it up at 1:05 here at the ballpark. Missions will head north. They take on the Wichita Wind Surge in a six-game set starting next week. And then back home to take on the visiting Frisco Rough Riders. And then 2 weeks on the road as they'll head to Corpus Christi and Arkansas to start a 2-week campaign on the road. Missions will be back home at the end of June as they'll start up a six-game set with the visiting Amarillo Sod Poodles. Go online now at samissions.com, purchase and print your tickets from home. You can also follow us all season long here on Bally Live and on YouTube Live as well. And so far, you won't have to pay for anything else, not like MILB TV, because they do charge you about $15 to $30 a month for that. But anyway, canceled my subscription last year and so far don't have to pay out of pocket for anything like that anymore, which that is a pretty good deal. Bally Live is always live. They don't charge you. It's free without cost. And so far on the go, you can watch your home team anywhere, whether if they're in Tulsa or Arkansas or wherever they may be. You can always watch them live when they're playing. Well, I'm joined in the booth by my partner and friend Bob. How you doing there, Bob?
I'm doing good. How are you, John?
Well, what a night it's been, and especially with the severe weather. Boy, we had the severe weather come into San Antonio about 8:30, and this was just as we were getting through with our 8-inning contest last night. And so far, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain, strong winds, up to 60 to 70 miles an hour here at the ballpark. We did have a little damage this morning, but not sustainable damage. But most evidently, the things got cleaned up. The grounds crew did a great job, and they knew that tonight was going to be a night we were going to play 9 innings. But anyway, got to say, tonight is a pretty good evening as we get set for this one against Corpus Christi, and well, so far pretty good. But anyway, back to the severe weather subject. A lot of things happened last night, and so far San Antonio, first time around, had a tornado warning. And even just to the east of the city, there was a tornado warning, and even west of the city, there's tornado warnings. Like near Pearsall, Texas, and boy, a strong-looking thunderstorm. There was even a tornado on the ground right outside of the Texas-Mexico border and outside just to the south or west of Del Rio, but it did not look good when we all looked at it. A lot of storms that had a potential of tornadic activity that could be a tornado producer, but most evidently it was one wicked night last night, let me tell you. Yeah, I gotta say, John, it's now a pretty good one here tonight as we do have a lot of clouds tonight, but most evidently the sun is shining, and so far pretty good evening here at the ballpark, and so far pretty good. Yeah. Well, anyway, Springfield and Wichita are off tonight, and so far, if you're dialing in from Springfield, that's pretty good too, because evidently they played the last about 8 nights in a row, and so far, well, they pretty much got the off night tonight. But anyway, Frisco and Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas and Tulsa, those games have been postponed tonight. And so far, looking at the Doppler radar, boy, thunderstorm activity on the high rise as we go through this evening. And well, so far, our four teams only tonight: Amarillo at Midland, Corpus Christi at San Antonio, and so far, a pretty good one. But anyway, let's go ahead and get you down on the field as this will wrap up tonight's pregame show. And oh, yes, I did forget that we had our final score last night, Bob. And so far, if you want to go ahead and say something about that, you're more than welcome to. But anyway, yep, go ahead.
Well, yeah, the San Antonio Missions during the time of our 8 innings, they won it by the final score of 1-0. So that was a pretty good ball game there, John.
Indeed, it was. That was a pretty good one. And even though the 8 innings were all we could play last night, because we were afraid for everybody's safety as we all looked at it, with the severe weather and the thunderstorms that were coming in to San Antonio, we were concerned for everybody's safety. And hopefully everybody got home just before the storms got in. I mean, as we ended the ball game in the top half of the 8th inning after the final out, that's when we started seeing the lightning, hearing the thunder, and a lot of people got in their cars and left the ballpark, which that was pretty good. So most evidently, everybody hopefully got home safe, but so far, good enough on that. Well, anyway, we're just about set to go here tonight as this will conclude our pregame show. The second game of our 6-game set against the Corpus Christi Hook starts next right here on KKYX. And so far, 104.9, the best of country legends. Our new proud sponsor here of San Antonio Missions Baseball. And so far, just got to absolutely love the great country legends. And so far, when I listen to country music, I feel like I'm ready to ride a horse and be a full-fledged cowboy. And so far tonight, our proud sponsor, West Creek Trail Rides here in San Antonio. And so far, give them a call at 210-616-6585 or book your reservation online at westcreektrailrides.com or dial in or you could give Benji a call. And so far, we will go ahead and give you his phone number right now. It is 210-800-3335. Again, that's 210-800-3335. If you want to schedule some lessons with him, you are more than welcome to do so. And so far, pretty good. Well, anyway, we're just about set to go. Top of the first inning for Corpus Christi on this Wednesday, Military Appreciation Night Wednesday, here at the ballpark. So yes, a lot of clouds here tonight at Wolf Stadium as we get set for this ball game broadcast. And so far, yep, the mission's coming out as they take the field. Got a great home crowd, and yes, the crowd from Corpus Christi coming in as well. They'll get the start. Well, you know this familiar guy? Who is that, Bob?
That's Omar Cruz, the left-hander coming in. He's getting his pitching assignment from San Diego as he's on a relief mission.
Oh, is he? So, evidently, he's coming in, and so far looking pretty good.
There he is.
Riley Unroe, the second baseman for Corpus Christi, coming up first for the Hooks. And we are just about ready to go. The first pitch is high fly in the air. And that is up to the center fielder. Ty Roberts will take it himself for the out. And there's one down. With that, let's give the visiting Corpus Christi starting lineups. Unroe, Sullivan, Flores will be the lead on 3. Austin Baez, Whitaker, middle. Chavalon, Sacco Jr., and Encarnacion will wrap it up for Corpus Christi here this evening. Joseph Sullivan coming in now as get ready to go. Only 4 teams playing tonight. Amarillo at Midland and Corpus Christi at San Antonio. Just the 4 South divisions only tonight. While 4 North divisions, even though Frisco is not a North division, it's part of a South division in the Texas Rangers organization. And that's going to be right there. That's down and in, and that's going to get through for a base hit. And Sullivan going for 3. And he's going to get in there with a 1-out triple. And Corpus Christi only having their first run of the ball game just 90 feet away. So far looking pretty good as they get in with Sullivan now being at third. Here is the third hitter, Arturo Flores. As he'll take that one in for a strike, and it's the count now, 0-1. A lot of clouds tonight here at the ball game, and yes, we'll get that orange hue from the sunset later on. 0-1. And that one is crushed deep to left field, and that one is gone. And Corpus Christi will strike for 2, courtesy of this 2-run shot by Arturo Flores. And now the Hooks are out in front. It's now 2-0.
Man, what a way to get that one going. And so far, pretty good for Corpus Christi getting in. And so far, they got her going. No doubt about it.
Well, they sure did. Trevor Austin coming up now. 1 man down after the 2-run shot. And he'll take that one in for a code strike. It's 0-1. Military Appreciation Night here at the ballpark. We salute those in the live broadcast. Our military, our police, our firefighters, our first responders, everybody that serves in uniform. We thank y'all for coming out to the ball game. We really appreciate everybody. No balls and 2 strikes. Great crowd we have here tonight on a Wednesday night. Kids out of school enjoying the start of summer vacation, and that's going to be right out there, and that is out number 2. Join us here at Wolf Stadium as we bring you summer camp coming out. Anytime the missions are not at home, you and your kid can spend the night on the ball field, which that is pretty good. We have chili dogs and hot dogs and hamburgers and chips and all types of good stuff. Provide for the kids, courtesy of our San Antonio mission staff. 0-1. And that one is going to be fouled. The count now at 0-2.
Boy, that would be good for the kids, John.
Yeah, it sure would. It gives the kids to have a pretty good time, and we would have arts and crafts with them. We'd have movie night on the big screen. We would have almost anything with them. So far, pretty good. Right there, called third strike, and they got him down, and that is the side retired. Arturo Flores getting a 2-run home run, courtesy of this shot right here. it's 2-0 Corpus Christi as we head for the bottom of the first right after these commercial messages. We'll have Brandon Walter coming in now as he'll get started. That is Brandon Walter up now for Corpus Christi. We're back here for the bottom of the first right after commercial messages. This one brought to you in part by our friends there at West Creek.
Well, looking for a ride here in San Antonio? Well, you're pretty much in luck. Give West Creek a call, 210-616-6585 to book your reservation, or just visit westcreek.com and get on there and book your ride, and so far, pretty good. We're just about set for the bottom of the first inning for San Antonio in just a few moments, so stay tuned. Well, about set to go for the bottom of the first right now on the Missions Baseball Network.
Thank you, Bob. And here is Brandon Walter coming in. ERA of 3.335 and so far a strikeout of 52. And boy, what a great way of seeing some strikeouts. Well, the shortstop is Luis Verdugo as he comes in. About set to go here in the bottom of the first inning for San Antonio, and that one will miss outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Temperature-wise, a comfortable 82 degrees here at the bottom of the first inning. And that one's downstairs. The count now 2-0. A lot of high clouds, but evidently getting that hue afterwards.
Ball that's outside.
And that one is down and in. The count now 3-0. Center fielder Kai Roberts getting on deck for the Missions. And that's in for a strike. The count now 3-1. Well, Omar Cruz is on a rehab assignment from the San Diego Padres, and so far he gets to pitch here for San Antonio tonight.
Well, that's pretty good. We've seen Omar during, what years did he come into San Antonio?
Well, former Mission like him, he really got in there and got things going. Right there, straight away to center field, and that is through for a hit.
Boy, now the tying run for San Antonio getting ready to come in.
Yep, that is right, and that will be the center fielder Kai Roberts. Corpus Christi leading this game 2-0 after Prospect hit a 2-run. So far, pretty good right there. Great crowd we have here at Wolf Stadium tonight, right, Bob?
Gotta say, John, absolutely right. Always a good thing here in San Antonio.
Ball inside.
Well, that one is outside, and the count now 2-0. A one base hit, but two more balls, and it will be an intentional walk by Brandon Walter. And that's in for a strike. The count now at 2-1. Runner at first, nobody out for San Antonio. And that is in for a strike. The count now 2-2. Amarillo leading 4-0 against Midland there in Franco Park. And that one's going to be crushed. And that one is gone. And center fielder Kai Roberts gets that one going, and they will tie it up in the bottom half of the first inning.
Wow, just the way that he gets on. And so far, he tattooed it right out of here. No doubt about it.
Well, here he is, the San Antonio catcher, Ethan Salas. Boy, and the second hole hitter, just really good, and hopefully he'll get a call up to AAA El Paso before too long.
Yeah, I sure hope so. That'd be pretty good for this guy. He needs to get in there and get something going.
Oh, that is for sure. No balls, 2 strikes to Salas. 2-2 tie in the bottom of the first inning for the Missions.
Ball 1.
And that one is outside. The count now 1-2. Sun and clouds mixed on an evening like this, and that is going to be in for a taken called strike 3, and that's a backwards K for Brandon Walter. With that, let's give the starting lineups for San Antonio. Verdugo, Roberts, and Ellis will be a leadoff 3. Sanabria, Carpathios, Bowden, middle. Verdugo, Murphy, and Castañon wrap it up for the Missions. Here's a pitch.
Nope.
And that's a cutter outside. It's count now 1 ball and no strikes. 2-2 ball game here in San Antonio. Bottom of the first inning as Romeo Sanabria gets in. First baseman for San Antonio. And that is in for a strike. The count now at 1-1. So that would be a pretty good deal. I mean, if we have camp next week here at the ballpark.
Nope. Outside.
Even though San Antonio will be off to Wichita by next following week. But evidently will return the second week taking on the Frisco Rough Riders. So pretty good after that. Then it'd be 2 weeks on the road. We'll hit the Corpus Christi and Arkansas right after that. Man, and only those 2 teams will get 6 only in road trips this year in 2026. Yeah, that's right, Bob. We have heard a lot about San Antonio just going down to Bayfront Park at least 6 times this year, even though a 1-6 game set. But evidently going to All-American Ballpark for a 1 road trip only of 6 games. 1 ball and no strikes to Braden Carpathios, and that is going to be in for a strike, and the count now 1-1. Northwest Arkansas will be 0 games. We don't go this year to Riverboat Field. Wishing we would. That'd be pretty good to see the Naturals ballpark. Maybe a lot has changed in over 4 or 5 years. But the count now is 2 balls and 1 strike now. Braden Carpathios. There's a pitch, and that is going to be in for a cold strike, and the count now at 2-2. Well, just a pretty good evening. Partly cloudy skies, but most evidently the clouds will decrease as we go later part of the evening. Well, anyway, that one is a call overturned for strike 3, and there's 2 down. Jace Bowden, the designated hitter, coming in. Getting ready to go, and here's the pitch to him. That's a strike inside. The count now 0-2. Batting in the right-hand batter box. And that's a sweeper outside as 1-1.
Boy, this is starting to turn out to be a long half inning, and now the tie-breaking run just getting ready to go.
Well, that is for sure. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Jace Bowden. The sun and clouds mixed on a Military Appreciation Night Wednesday. And that is right there, straight away to first, and that will end it before the half inning comes to an end. We end one, but this one, by Kai Roberts, a 2-run shot to right field will tie it up. And it's 2-2 for Corpus Christi and San Antonio in this one. Designated hitter Ty Whitaker coming in now. He's getting ready to go for the top half of the second inning for Corpus Christi. 6-7-8 due up against the rehab assignment. Omar Cruz getting the rehab from the San Diego Padres. Well, always good to see Omar Cruz again. Never thought we got to see him for a long time. Jason Chavalone coming in now. Here's the pitch, and that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Sun and clouds mixed on an evening like this as you look at it. Good shot. And that's going to be right there. Liner straight away to left field, through for a hit. And by golly, starting to turn out to be a really good thing when you all look at it. Yeah, John, it sure is. No balls, no strikes. Here is Tommy Sacco Jr. That one's downstairs. It's a 12-inch curve, and the count now 1 ball and no strikes. So that about Frisco and Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas at Tulsa. 4 teams getting rained out tonight because of severe weather.
Yeah, I gotta say, John, it's not looking good for Tulsa as we look at the radar. A lot of rain going through the evening, but most definitely for the 4 ball clubs that you mentioned, they will get makeup games tomorrow.
And that's even double headers get going.
Yeah, for sure.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Sacco Jr. And a pitch. High in the air, straight away. Up to left field is Murphy. And that is out number 2. And gets it back in quickly there to the second baseman, Castañon. And that's going to bring out Yamal Encarnacion. Here's a pitch. And that one is out of play, foul. The count now 0-1. Well, hopefully within a few months from now, we'll get the 2027 schedules going.
Yeah, that is for sure, John. We're looking forward to seeing what we get next year here in this ballpark.
Well, that is for sure. Hopefully we'll get Arkansas and Tulsa. Every North Division team that would come here to San Antonio. And that would be nice. And hopefully San Diego will allow Arkansas and Tulsa to come back to San Antonio at some point in the future. That one is right there, and that will be out of play in the count now at 1-2. Here's a pitch. And that one is out of play and
still holding.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, this weekend, if you were out at the ball game, good. If you're out at the movies watching Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu, that's even better. It's that on theaters May 22nd, which it's already been out for a week already. Today is May 27th.
That's ball 2.
And that is ball 2. The count now 2-2. So pretty good one here tonight. Here's a 2-2. And that one's going to be lofted high in the air straight away. Up to left field, Murphy. And that will end the half inning. But no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on for Corpus Christi. And we're 2.5, still a tied ball game here, 2-2. We're just about set to go as we'll have the third baseman, Rosemond Verdugo, ready to get going here for San Antonio.
Well, we're about set to go for the bottom half of the second inning. Right now, the Mission's Baseball Network.
Well, thank you, Bob. Rosamond Verdugo getting set to go. 7-8-9. Bottom half of the order for San Antonio coming up. As the first pitch in, thrown for a strike. It's 0-1 by Brandon Walter. Gotta say, Amarillo having a pretty good sizable lead against Midland there at Franco Park. Score is 5-0, top of the fifth inning. And boy, I tell you one thing, just getting pretty interesting when you have the Sod Poodles and Rockhounds going at it. That one is right there. Glove to the first baseman, caught for the out. And there is one down. That'll bring up the left fielder, Kai Murphy. Well, tonight, if Amarillo wins against Midland, they will move up to second place, trailing a game and a half against San Antonio. That would, quite frankly, put Frisco down to third place. But most evidently, with the rain out they had against the Arkansas Travelers, I would say that would be pretty bad. But, well, 2 makeup games for 4 of those teams, that'd be a pretty good thing. And right there, swing and a miss. Boy, chased it right out of the zone. And that is out number 2. Here is Marcos Castañon. As he comes in and takes that one outside as 1 ball and no strikes. Castañon, the second baseman here tonight for the Missions. Starting to get that orange hue in the clouds. Just look at that. We're here in the bottom of the second. We're seeing that early. It's a pretty good thing. Unlike last night when we had the cloud cover and scary looking storm clouds. Well, I tell you what, that was just an evening we won't ever forget here in the Texas League.
Yeah, I gotta say, John, I thought it was gonna really get ugly, but yes, 3 tornado warnings in one night. That was kind of something else.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, strike 3 called, and that will do it for the half inning is over. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. Third inning, straight ahead, tied at 2. So we're just about set to go. It's Riley Unruh, the leadoff hitter for Corpus Christi. We'll get ready to go when we come back.
Well, just about set to go for the third inning for Corpus Christi right now on the Missions Baseball Network.
Riley Unroe getting ready to go. 1, 2, and 3. Top of the order for the third inning. Facing off the rehab assignment of Omar Cruz. Will take that one in for a cold strike. And it's the count now at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike the count. And the pitch right there and in, and that's taken in for a count now 0-2. Going to the pitch. And that got him. So now he will take it down to first base as that one hit him, and now that'll bring up Joseph Sullivan. Looking in from the windup and the stretch is Omar Cruz, and here's the pitch. And that one is fouled off, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. And that one is pelted. And you could kiss that one goodbye, it's gone. First home run for Joseph Sullivan. A 2-run shot to straightaway right field, and that one is out of here. And Corpus Christi will take back the lead. It's now 4-2. Man, I tell you what, John, they are just really getting things going. Well, they sure are, aren't they there, Bob? Yeah, they sure are. So you look at the instant replay, that was a 97.1 exit velocity over a 388-foot fastball. Here is Arturo Flores as he comes in after the 2-run shot. And that one is out of play. The count now 0-1. He was a 2-run shot back in the first inning. It's 1 for 1 here for Corpus Christi. Here is the 0-1. And that is inside for a strike. The count now 0-2. Well, I tell you, long is the baseball season, don't you think, Bob?
Yeah, I gotta say, John, it kind of reminds me of last year. Last year went by pretty fast, and we're just, last week in May, getting into June, and a lot of the kids getting ready to go to summer camp and get ready to go off to Florida, and so far, pretty good. Young Life Camp is always a good place for the young lives of our generation and the new generation that will come before us. Back in 2012 and 13, I was in Midland, Texas during that time. Not even employed with Texas League Baseball here on the show, but most evidently, Young Life was a pretty good camp. I went there, went to Dallas. We had a layover at their airport. And then after that, from the Dallas Metropolitan Airport, we went off to Birmingham, Alabama. And we had a 30 to 40 minute layover as new passengers got on the plane.
That ball's foul.
The ball goes foul. And evidently from Birmingham, we left to Orlando, Florida. We got our luggages and we got on the bus, and we had a 2 to 3 hour road trip just west of Orlando. And we got off to Southwind, a Young Life camp. It's a pretty good place. And if you take your child this summer to a Young Life camp, that's a pretty good thing that they get to experience a rainforest, a lake, 2 swimming pools, and all types of stuff. But if you go back and you look at one of my series on YouTube, that's pretty good. And you're talking about the 2020 or 2013 Young Life series, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one is out of play, and the count now 0-2. Well, it was a pretty good experience, and I really enjoyed it. And so far, it was just a real good one.
That one's down and in, and the count now 1-2.
Do you wish you can ever go back to Ocklawaha, Florida?
You betcha. I would go back any day. Just to see some good friends, enjoy the food and the company of other people, and to enjoy the swimming pools and to get away from town for a little while. I mean, I gotta say, that's just really good when we all look at it.
Yeah, John, it must be a pretty neat experience when you're telling me.
Right fielder Luis Baez coming in. Fifth hole batter is 0 for 1. Boy, Corpus Christi now leading a ball game, now 4-2 here in the top of the third inning. Amarillo now getting 2 more runs against Midland as they lead 7-0. And boy, I bet there at Funko Park, it's getting pretty interesting. That one's high in the air, straight away. Up to left field is Kai Murphy. And that is out number 3. But Joseph Sullivan will get a 2-run shot for Corpus Christi up to right field. And now they'll lead it 4-2 here in the top of the third inning. And so far, we are pretty good. Well, it's 4-2 as Luis Verdugo. Robert Salas will lead it for the bottom of the third when we come back from commercial messages.
Well, about set to go for the bottom of the third right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Luis Verdugo getting ready to go as we start up the bottom half of the third for San Antonio. Top half of the order about to go as Verdugo and the two other prospects right behind Luis Verdugo getting in and pretty much good to go. Next would be right fielder Braden Carpathios and third and Castañon. Right there in the count now is 1-2. Well, welcome our viewers in here at the broadcast, and so far, happy Wednesday to y'all and everybody, and our military that comes into this ball game. That one back up to the mound, and that is out number one.
Now batting, the center fielder, Kai.
And that'll bring up the center fielder, Kai Roberts. 1-for-1, a two-run shot back in the first inning. I was thinking it was Carpathios and Castañon both in the second and third spots, but unknowingly, I guess I stood corrected there. Well, that's okay. Now it's right there. Liner straight away up to right field, and that is through over the first baseman's head for a base hit.
Now batting, catcher, Ethan.
Well, that'll bring in Ethan Salas as he comes in. Do you think he could pop another one out of here like he did last night? Oh, for sure. I bet he could do that. Oh, boy, the sweeper gets him chasing out for strike one, and it's the count now 0-1. No balls, one strike to Ethan Salas as he comes in.
Ball, that's off.
And he'll take that one outside as count now at 1-1. Well, Bob, you could turn that down because, well, that computer is just loud on that little speaker monitor. And that is in for a cold strike. It's the count now 1-2. Getting that orange hue from the clouds out there, and that's pretty nice, and we have that. Yeah, I gotta say, John, it absolutely is, and that's a sweeper downstairs. The count now 2-2. Well, the clouds are supposed to diminish after the 9 o'clock hour, and we'll have a full clear blue sky, but most likely the stars will come out, the moon will come out. Gonna be a pretty nice night. No severe weather in front of us, so that's even better. Not like up in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now, getting some strong to severe thunderstorms. And that's going to be right there, line drive, and that is through for a hit. And that's going to be a double for Romeo Sanabria. Now double meat cheeseburger coupons courtesy of Whataburger. Boy, I tell you what, that was right off the left field line, and just a terrific play by Romeo Sanabria as he gets in there for the base hit double. Braden Carpathios coming in. Will take a ball outside. It's the count now 1-0. A strikeout is 0-for-1 to the right fielder Carpathios. So far, a pretty good one here tonight for San Antonio. And the pitch. And that is in for a cold strike. It's the count now 1-1. Got to say, we're in the all clear of all the severe weather we've been getting, and May has just been really active. Especially the Friday morning, which we'll never forget, May 1st at 1:30, which that was a terrible night.
Outside, that's a ball.
And that is outside. The count now 2-2. But most evidently, that night we'll never forget, because that was a night that San Antonio got hit with some pretty bad lightning. Well, right there, called third strike, so that will do it. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. And we are through 3. Corpus Christi leading it 4-2.
Ty Whitaker will get set to go as we start up the top of the fourth inning for the Hooks when we come back. All set to go for the top of the fourth inning for Corpus Christi. Right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Oh, the beautiful sun getting ready to come out of them clouds, and we're just about set to go. Ty Whitaker set to go, 6, 7, 8. Here in this half order for Corpus Christi, and that is in for the cold strike. And the count now at 0-1. Just a beautiful evening here at the ballpark with the sun and clouds, with the hue of those clouds being reflected by the evening sun. That one is a high pop-up. And that one is going to get out of play foul. The count now 0-2. The 0-2, one more. That one high in the air, foul. Still hanging on is Ty Whitaker. That's a high pop-up straight away. And that is up to the center fielder, Roberts, as he'll make the play for out number 1. Jason Chivalone coming in now. The catcher is 1-for-1 single. And the pitch. And that's going to be right there. Liner straight away to left field, and that is through for a base hit. Boy, just a pretty good line drive there for Corpus Christi there, John. Well, you look at the guy on the mound here, the left-hander, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, and gave up a earned run of 4. The rehab starter for San Antonio, all the way from the San Diego Padres. Getting on the mound now for the Missions here tonight on rehab assignment. Tommy Sacco Jr., the shortstop, is 0-for-1 to fly out. Here's the 0-1. And that is in for a slider, and the count now 0-2. The 0-2 delivery. Called third strike, and they got him down. Well, that'll bring up Yomar Encarnacion. Home from the great Dominican Republic. There, and so far pretty good. Here's the pitch, and that one is right there in the count now, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery. That's high fly, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to count here tonight. Glad it's almost a crystal clear night with no severe weather. And that is right there. Throw down. Salas gets him. Throws to Sanabria, and that will do it for the half inning. Comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on for Corpus Christi. We head now to the bottom of the 4th on this Wednesday night, and it's 4-2 Corpus Christi. Designated hitter is Jace Bowden as he comes in. About set to go here is 0-for-1, a line out tonight. And that one is right there and in, and the count now is 0-1. Well, clouds starting to give us a good light show tonight. Evidently with the sun setting, and pretty good on that. That's right there. That's a liner straight away, and that is all the way to the wall. And Bowden is going to coast into second with a leadoff double. And he's got it up there pretty good.
Yeah, he sure did there, John. You look at that. That was right off of the wall.
And so far, pretty good. Indeed, that was. Brandon Walter now has 61 pitches for Corpus Christi, as starting his 4th inning of work on the hill for the Hooks. And so far, pretty good one. Rosemond Verdugo getting ready to go. 7 and 8 and 9 hitters due up, bottom half of the order. Boy, and that 6-hole hitter got everybody double meat cheeseburger coupons, courtesy of Whataburger. Tying run up to the plate, that is Verdugo.
Ball 1.
And that is outside for the ball. The count now 1-2. Just a terrific evening here at Wolf Stadium, and so far, hope you guys come out and enjoy the ball game. And likewise, it's always a good time to come out and enjoy some Missions baseball. We're here for our last week of May here in the series against Corpus Christi, and then next week we'll head to Wichita. And I wish that the captions on here would get it right. It's Wichita. That's how you spell Wichita. There's no H at the end of the word that I just said. Brandon Walter, boy, 55 pitches in the percentage of his cutter, and so far pretty good. Left fielder Kai Murphy coming in is 0-for-1. San Antonio up at Windsurge, there at the porch. And literally just love the porch. It's a nice area there in Wichita. No balls and 1 strike. The count now to the left fielder, Kai Murphy. And the sweeper gets him out full for strike, and the count now 0-2. And most evidently, glad it's not like last night when we had them storm clouds, but evidently winning by that final score 1-0 led the Missions to their 24th of the season. Here's the 0-2, and that one is downstairs. The count now 1-2. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-2 Corpus Christi. And that's a swing and a miss. Murphy down on strikes. And that is the 8th strikeout for Brandon Walter. 0-for-1, a strikeout tonight. Here is Marcos Castellon. 72 pitches by Walter here tonight. And that's going to be a liner straight away up to right field, and that is through for a hit.
Boy, tell you one thing there, John. Getting pretty interesting when you look at these Mission players. They're doing pretty good just getting in and getting some base hits. Now you have the corners loaded up, first and third. With 2 out, here is Luis Verdugo as he comes in.
Well, that one in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 1 for 2 single. And while San Antonio is out in wind surge country there at the porch, well, kids can bring their tents, their sleeping bags. They can also come out and camp with the parents, too. Well, a lot of kids could come out to Nelson Wolf Stadium and enjoy camping on the baseball field, which that's pretty good. Here's the 0-2. And that one is a high pop-up out of play, and it goes to the backstop, and the count now still holding it, 0-2. 2 outs, first and third. Corpus Christi out to 4-2. And that is a swing and a miss, and that will do it, as that will quickly retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on for San Antonio, and that will do it, as we played 4 innings on now to the 5th. Hucks in front by 4-2. We'll be back with the starter, Riley Unroe, to lead us off here in this one. About set to go for the top of the 5th inning right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Riley Unroe getting set to go. 1, 2, and 3 due up top of the 5th inning against our starter tonight. Omar Cruz will take that one in for the strike as he swings and misses. And the count now at 0-1. Omar Cruz getting the rehab assignment from the San Diego Padres, and that's going to be right to the wall. And that is out number 1. Like many Missions before us, like River Stevens, Fernando Tatis Jr., and so many others that were here in San Antonio during 2018, there was a few of those prospects that made rehab assignments during 2021 when the Missions got invited back to the Padres.
Yeah, I gotta say, pretty good as the starters just get on there, and boy, they get something going when they get a rehab to a Double-A organization like San Antonio.
But even though there, Bob, some prospects, if you start from San Antonio, and they have a little time with the Missions, they could get moved up to another Double-A organization.
Oh yeah, like Midland and Northwest Arkansas.
Now, even though through a free agency, that cannot actually happen.
Yeah, I remember that there was one prospect that was on the Midland Rockhounds, got moved up to the Northwest Arkansas Naturals at one time.
Yep. And right there, swing and miss to Joseph Sullivan as he's 2 for 2 in this ball game. Here's pitch. And that's a swing and a miss. They got him. And that is out number 2. Omar Cruz doing pretty good. And so far, now 75% of his four-seam fastballs has been called in for strikes. Arturo Flores is a home run, a 2 RBI and a run. It's 1 for 2 by the first baseman here tonight for Corpus Christi. And that is in for a strike. The count now at 0-1. Well, Hook fans will be up back in their ballpark, Bayfront Park, as they take on the Arkansas Travelers next week. San Antonio will head to Wichita, Amarillo, and Tulsa. There at beautiful Water-Rich Field in downtown Amarillo. 0-2. That one high flying in the air and out of play, foul. And the count now at 0-2. Still hanging on is Arturo Flores. Midland at Northwest Arkansas. Springfield at Frisco.
3.
And right there, called third strike, and that will do it. And that will put us down to the 5th inning. No runs, hits, or errors for the Hooks. And we are 4-2 in this one. Lynn Otto Jr., a right-hander, getting ready to get going for Corpus Christi. Slider, sinker, four-seam, 12-6 curve, and a circle change will be the 5-pitch mitzvah of his reservoir, which that will be pretty good for him. Otto Jr. now pitching for Corpus Christi as he'll greet up the first batter for San Antonio, Kai Roberts. 2 for 2 in this one. Even though the 27th of May going pretty well, and so far, as always, it's a pretty good one. That one downstairs, the count now 1-1. Sun starting to fade away as it goes down. The clouds starting to unglow after that. That one is popped foul. The count now 1-2. Evidently, Missions will be back
That's a ball.
on Tuesday, June 9th, taking on the visiting Frisco Rough Riders. That one is a high pop-up straight away to left field, and that is out number 1.
Now batting, the catcher,
Well, it'll be Frisco and San Antonio, Wichita and Tulsa, Northwest Arkansas at Arkansas, Corpus Christi at Midland, Amarillo, and Springfield. Through that third, or should I say, through that second week of June, not a lot of South divisions taking on the North Division rivals. That one right there, and now to play the count now 0-2. Except Sod Poodles and Springfield will literally take each other on. That one is right there to the line drive, straightaway center through for a hit. Good boy, pretty good right there. Well, Romeo Sanabria coming in. He's getting ready to go. Boy, and Arkansas will have a 6-game set against Frisco starting on Tuesday, June 16th. So Arkansas at Frisco, Springfield at Wichita, San Antonio at Corpus Christi, Tulsa and Northwest Arkansas, Midland and Amarillo will go each other. That is on Tuesday, June 16th. I hope I'm not getting anybody mixed up in the scheduling. But we'll stop right there so we don't go any further. Here's a 1-1. Swing and miss, and the count now at 1-2. And right there in the end, taken through a called strike 3, and that will be out number 2. Right fielder is Braden Carpathios as he comes in. Corpus Christi leading this game by a 2-run margin against San Antonio. And here is the pitch. And that is a swing and a miss. The count now at 0-1. Yep, starting to see the clouds just unglow as we get into the nighttime here in San Antonio, and just a little bit of daylight left as we get into the bottom half of this inning. That one ground ball straight away, and they throw it away. Oh my goodness, and that's going to be an error on Corpus Christi. That is a E6. Man, and that puts runners at second and third. Now the tying run at second base. Hoo-wee. Well, glad we're not those boys all the way from. Don't remind me what that feels like. Yeah. Chase Bowden coming up now, the designated hitter. 1 for 2 tonight. Like in the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo, you know, you get bucked off a wild bronc, let me tell you, whew, you might as well just be the one getting beat because you can't stay on for 8 seconds on that timer. Yeah, I remember. You were showing me videos of a couple of people from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, getting in there and getting things going. Yeah, you know, these guys are all the way from, well, Calgary. Like you said, Calgary is a pretty good place. Home of the Heartland territory and TV series Heartland, and which got renewed for a 20th season. Well, anyway, that error does not come back to haunt them, so no runs on 2 hits. 1 error for Corpus Christi. And we go to the 6th inning. It's a 4-2 ball game, Hooks in front. Pretty good night thus far as we're to the halfway point of this broadcast. And so far giving you the play-by-plays of the first 5 innings here tonight. And it's always a pretty good thing when we get in and have a pretty good night here in San Antonio and through this week with Corpus Christi. Next week with the Wichita Wind Surge as well. Line look, here it is as we go up to the top half of the 6th inning, and Pretty good look as we get going, and so far the first batter for the Hooks about ready to come in, and so far that will be Trevor Austin, but we'll take our break as we get ready to go for the top of the sixth inning here in San Antonio. It's 4-2 Corpus Christi. Well, it's about set to go for the top half of the sixth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Trevor Austin about set to go is 0 for 2 with a night as we lead off the top half of the sixth inning for Corpus Christi. Boy, Amarillo leading 8-0 against Midland. It is a pretty good ball game there at Bronco Park. I want to say the Sod Poodles doing pretty good, but so far winning tonight would put them straight to second place. They'll put Frisco down in third. Midland is 2.5 games back from the Frisco Rough Riders and Sod Poodles. Now here's the 0-2. That one high fly in the air, out of play, foul. And the count now still holding at 0-2. Well, that's going to be our trip to the mound as here comes the manager. And so far, that's going to bring in a new arm coming in. As that'll bring in Johnny Brito. Brito coming in for San Antonio is in a relief position. And so far, pretty good. Brito at now 412. 15.7 in strikeout rates, 357 over to 187. Brito now pitching for San Antonio. Getting ready to go as he'll get the starter, Omar Cruz. And that is right there. A swing and a miss. He fires that one in for strike 3. And he knocked him out right there and then with a knockout punch. Right fielder is Luis Baez. As he comes in and set to go, he fouls that one off. It's the count now 0-1. Well, if Corpus Christi wins this one here tonight, they will move up in a tie against Midland at 21 even. Here's the 0-1. That is if Corpus Christi beats San Antonio in the game that they're in right now. The 0-2. And that's going to be right there, line drive. And that is getting down through for a hit. And that's going to be a 1-out double. And so far, pretty good on that as Baez will get in for a hit. And so far tonight, Frisco getting postponed there in Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas and Tulsa getting postponed too because of the severe thunderstorms that they are getting. Here's Ty Whitaker as he hits that one high in the air and all the way right to the wall, and that is going to get the runner over to the third base area. Boy, a few more inches, it would have been a 2-run shot. Corpus Christi would have been in charge. Jason Chivalone is coming in as 2 for 2 and 2 singles here tonight. Runner at third in this one. And that is taken in for a cold strike. It's 0-1. Boy, and it's a pretty close end to that game there in Midland. Amarillo has a 8-0 advantage, and they got it against the Rockhounds. And that's going to be right there. Liner straight away through for a hit, and there's the first run here in the top of the 6th inning scoring in. Jason Chavalone getting that RBI single to straightaway up to right field through for a hit. Now Corpus Christi up by a 3-run lead. It's now 5-2. Here is Tommy Sacco Jr. as he'll come in. We'll take that one in for a strike, and it's the count now 0-1. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout here for Sacco Jr. The 0-1. And that one is in for the strike. The count now at 0-2. Bottom half of the 6th inning set to go after a commercial message. And right there called third strike, and they got him down. But Jason Chivalone will put in a run on the RBI single. And Corpus Christi up by 5-2 in this one as we head for the bottom of the 6th here in San Antonio. Third baseman Rosemond Verdugo getting ready to go as we'll get back after these messages.
Well, about set to go for the bottom of the sixth right now on the Missions Baseball Network. 7, 8, 9 due up in the bottom half of the sixth inning as we start off with Rosemont Verdugo as that one will miss outside. Is the count now 1 ball and no strikes.
Ball, that's in.
And that is outside again. 2 balls, no strikes. From the windup and the stretch. And that one fouled off, and the count now 2-1. Well, nice night for San Antonio baseball. Come out to the Missions game. We're still a little ways away from being done here tonight. But anyway, we'll play 9 innings tonight, but last night it was 8 innings due to the storms. Left fielder Kai Murphy coming in. We just really appreciate our military members that came into this ball game, and so far those in uniform,
Nope, that's
those that serve in our armed forces, and like our police or firefighters and all the above in uniform, we thank you. Well, next Wednesday we're up in Wichita, but most evidently when we take on the Frisco Rough Riders, another Military Appreciation Night Wednesday will be coming forward for us. Guy Murphy getting out by a flyout, and it's out number 2. Hooks manager coming out now is Glenn Otto Jr., a reliever getting out of this ball game, and so far they'll switch it up a bit. Well, it's top half of the 9th inning there in Midland, as the Sod Poodles will have it out in front by 8-0. Trey McLaughlin coming in now as he's a right-hander. McLaughlin now pitching for Corpus Christi as he'll greet up Marcos Castañon. 1 for 2 of the ball game here tonight. So far, just a pretty good evening here in San Antonio, as most likely the nighttime sky getting in. Stadium lights are taking full effect here at the ballpark, and that's going to be right there in the count now, 0-2. Well, just a bad night for Midland, and so far I think Amarillo just won this ball game by a bunch.
Ball 2.
And so far they will claim their 24th of the season against Midland. So Sod Poodles moving up to second place, and they are a game and a half behind San Antonio now. Well, if Corpus Christi wins this one here tonight, they'll tie up against Midland, as I said earlier. Amarillo and Frisco close to a foot race now. If they got tied by 24, then it would be a foot race. Verdugo coming in, 0-1 the count now. And that's going to be a high pop-up straight away up the right field, and that will end the half inning. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. As we head to the top half of the 7th inning, Corpus Christi out in front, 5-2. Yamal Encarnacion coming in, 9-1-2, top of the 7th inning here tonight. And the pitch is right inside for a strike, and the count now at 0-1. Well, pretty good one here tonight, right, Bob?
Yeah, I gotta say, John, it's starting to be a pretty good evening thus far, and so far for Corpus Christi, if they could get in and get this game going, it would be pretty good.
That is most definitely for sure.
That one is going to be out of play, foul, and the count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss. They got him for the first out. Well, that'll bring up Riley Unruh. The second baseman is 0 for 2. Was hit by pitch and a run. Rito coming in for his second inning of work here for San Antonio is going to be in for a strike, and the count now 0-1. Here is the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, and the count now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count now to Unruh. And that's a swing and a miss. They got him a strikeout. So far, a pretty good one at that, as that will pretty much do for the 2 starters getting into this ball game. Joseph Sullivan coming in, ready to go as he'll take that one in for the strike, and the count now at 0-1. 8-0 Amarillo there in Midland, Franco Park. Well, so far we don't go to Franco Park until July, which our teams here is Corpus Christi, Wichita, Frisco, Corpus Christi, Arkansas, and Amarillo through the month of June. Well, after that, Amarillo will be our last 6-game set in the home half of the first half in the South Division. Here's the 1-2. And that's going to be right there. Liner straightaway up the left field, through for a hit. We close off the regular season there in Midland for the first half. Corpus Christi and Frisco will come to San Antonio for a 9-game homestand to start off the second half. So far, a pretty good one. Amarillo will come to town right after that, and then it'll be Springfield. Our last 6-game road trip of the year between the Frisco Rough Riders and the pitch, and that's going to be a balk right there. So that'll be a runner up in second now. Here is Arturo Flores as he'll come in and take that one in for a strike. It's the count now at 0-1. And they'll try to pick off, and they'll have them back in standing there at second. No balls, 1 strike, and that is chopped foul. So still hanging on, there's no balls and 2 strikes to count. 0-2 delivery. And right there, straight away, up to Castellon to Sanabria, and that ends the half inning. 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on for Corpus Christi. 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark, and we'll go to commercial messages so everybody can get up and stretch. It's 5-2 Hooks. Well, about set to go for the bottom of the seventh right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Guy Roberts fixing to go. 2, 3, and 4 due up against Trey McLaughlin. As that one is high and outside for a ball. The count now 1-0. Ball game there at Franco Park fixing to end. And it is two outs, 2 balls, and 2 strikes to count now. And so far, ball game has now ended. Amarillo will take the second game against Midland in Franco Park. Well, last 2 teams of the night is Corpus Christi and San Antonio, but evidently with our ball game here just in the bottom half of the 7th inning, this 1-for-3 single is Ethan Salas. Well, nighttime here in San Antonio, Texas, and like I say, it's always nice to come in and get something going. That's going to be right there up the center field, and that is out number 2.
Now batting, the first baseman,
Romeo Sanabria coming in as 1-for-2 double. So far, so good here in this ball game. Oh, Hook fans out there at Bayfront Park are just happy that Corpus Christi is up by this lead. Here's the pitch. And that one is fouled in the way, and the count now 0-2. And a pitch. Right there, straight away through for a single. Up to center field, through for the base hit.
now batting, right fielder,
So, pretty good one there. And here is the right fielder, Braden Carpathios.
No, inside.
That's taken outside for the ball. The count now 1-0. 2 strikeouts, a fielder's choice is 0-for-3 to Carpathios here tonight. Here's a 1-0. And that one is out of play, and the count now 1-1. Well, remaining daylight now fading away here tonight. And that one is going to be high in the air straight away. And that will hit to the left fielder, and that is for out number 3. So no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left as we head now to the top half of the 8th inning. Corpus Christi out 5-2. Third baseman Trevor Austin coming in now. Is set to go. And that one's going to be in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Well, that one guy that is in the audio booth calling the names up at the batters, this will be his last night before he is fully retired. So, one more game here tonight. And so far, Andre Robertson will come in. Or actually, our 2 new recruitments that will come in and fulfill the position after he's retired. So, that's pretty good. Luis Baez coming in is 1-for-3 double and a run for Corpus Christi. And here's the pitch, and that one is out of play, found. The count now 0-1. Pretty good lead for Corpus Christi as they come in, and boy, they are really just wanting to win here tonight here in Game 2. It will be a split win between San Antonio and the Hooks. That one is skied high in the air, straight away to right field. Carpathios has his eyes on it and makes a play for out number 2. Well, for your birthday on Saturday, well, that was May 9th, right? Right, John? Yeah, it was. You and your weekend boss went out to the ball game, didn't you? Yeah, we sure did, and we got to ride horses. We got to have so much fun. This year has been very memorable as we all looked at it. But a pretty good one. No balls and one strike the count now to Ty Whitaker. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. And so far, pretty good. Here's the pitch.
Ball.
And that is right there. The count now 1-2. 4,235. And here's the pitch. That one right there, and that is out of play, and the count now 1-2. So far, we get back, we'll have Christmas in July, which that would be pretty good. We'll come up with those after the second half begins, and so far, pretty good. Well, that is strike three, and no runs, hits, or errors for Corpus Christi, and that will do it. Michael Knorr coming in as he's a right-hander, getting ready to warm up now for Corpus Christi as he begins his relief pitching for the Hooks. Knorr now pitching for Corpus Christi. Jace Bowden coming in as he'll take a strike inside. It's the count now 0-1. As we get going here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right there and out of play. And that will go foul. The count now 0-2. Nighttime here at the ballpark on this Wednesday night. That's middle half of the week, and that is going to be right there, out number 1. And so far, San Antonio down to their final 5 outs tonight. And we get our live broadcast tomorrow evening at 7:05 as we have Flying Chocolates taking on the Corpus Christi Hooks for Taco Bell Value Day. Friday will be $2 Day presented by the Chocolates. Saturday and Sunday back to our normal home white uniforms as missions continue this homestand. Rosemont Verdugo coming in. 1 out, nobody on for San Antonio, and that's going to be high flying in the air. And that will be strike 2 on the fly. And right there, a swing and a miss. Get him down, and that will be out number 2. And that's going to bring in the left fielder, Kai Murphy. 0 for 3 and 2 strikeouts and a line out tonight for the Missions. 5-2 Corpus Christi here in this ball game. Here's the pitch right there, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. But I tell you one thing, it gets pretty interesting when we all look at it. And that's going to be right there in the end for a strike. Or for a ball. I do apologize for that. And it's the count now at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Murphy. And that's going to be lofted high in the air to the right field area. And that's going to do for this half inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. We head for the 9th inning, and look at beautiful downtown San Antonio is on a beautiful Wednesday night. And gotta just absolutely love that look. Jason Chivavone coming in now as we lead it off here in the 9th inning. 3 for 3, 3 singles RBI by Chavalone as he comes in ready to go for Corpus Christi. And here's the pitch. That one is right there and out of play. And the count now at 0-1. No balls and one strike the count now. Johnny Brito now doing his third inning of relief pitching for San Antonio. Count now, nothing and two as he takes that strike well and inside. That one is right there, and that's going to get through. A line drive up to center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit double. Boy, a pretty good one as that'll bring in Tommy Sacco Jr. and getting in to go for that one. 0 for 3 tonight by Sacco Jr. as he'll miss that first pitch in for a strike. Gets nothing and one. 0 for 3 and 2 strikeouts, a flyout tonight for Corpus Christi. Here's pitch. And that one is foul, and the count now nothing and two. No balls, 2 strikes to count now on this Wednesday night. Great crowds coming in, kids off of school and having the greatest summer vacation they're ever going to get. And right there, called third strike, and now Hooks down to their final 2 outs. And so far, that is about 10 Ks for breakfast, a courtesy of Whataburger. Everybody in tonight's attendance will get a pretty good night full of coupons, so make sure you get those on your way out. Yamal Encarnacion coming in, no balls and a strike to him.
That's outside.
And that is outside for the count now, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count for Johnny Brito. And that's the count now, 1-2 as fouls that one off. One ball, 2 strikes to count. And fouls that one off, still hanging on. Here's pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Well, down to their final out here tonight for Corpus Christi. Here's second baseman Riley Unroe. The last out for Johnny Brito as he comes in. Got a full confidence tonight for his Mission's ball staff. Here's a 1-0.
Ball, that's out.
And that is downstairs. The count now 2-0. Here's pitch.
Nope. Outside.
And the circle change is outside. It's count now 3-0. And on deck now is Joseph Sullivan. 3-0.
Yeah.
And circle change right there. Get back in the count now at 3-1. Looking in from the windup and the stretch, here's Johnny Brito.
Aye.
And he'll take that one in for a strike. And count now 3 balls, 2 strikes in full. Looking in from the windup, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be right there. Intercepted by the shortstop. Right the first in time to Sanabria. And that is the final out here in this half inning. Castañon, Verdugo, and Roberts will be the last 3 up for San Antonio as we head for the bottom of the 9th. And it's 5-2 Corpus Christi. Lane Bear Santa coming in now. 4-seam slider, curve on the changeup, and a sinker. Santa now pitching for Corpus Christi. Marcos Castañon, the second baseman, coming in, is 1 for 2 as we lead off the bottom half of the 9th here tonight. I gotta say, the clouds already starting to break up and full moon in progress. Ain't that pretty?
Yeah, it sure is. Finally, after a few days of severe weather, now the moon is coming out. We're having a pretty good night here at Wolf Stadium.
Always a pretty good night for the Missions here tonight. That is for sure. That's going to be right there. Intercepted by the shortstop in time. And they get him by the footstep, and that's out number 1. Well, Luis Verdugo coming in now is be the final time of his appearance here tonight. I'll just tell you one thing, it'd be pretty nice to get going, and that's going to be right there high in the air straight away, and that gets down for a base hit.
Boy, pretty nice if San Antonio would get up there and get something going, but now 2 outs remain for San Antonio, and so far this could be a real game changer.
Most definitely. Right there to third and in time, as that is out number 2. And San Antonio down to their final out. That'll bring up the catcher, Ethan Salas. 1 for 4, a single. But man, I tell you one thing, it just getting pretty interesting for Corpus Christi. Now they're really happy that it's getting to the point of this one. A pretty good one at that. Well, right there, the count now at 1-2, down to the final strike of Ethan Salas. Looks like Corpus Christi will tie it up. Fouls that one off, and the count now at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Santa. And that's going to be a ground ball, and he's going to have some trouble with it. Steps on the bag, and the ball game comes to an end. And the Hooks win it by a final score of 5-2. Corpus Christi getting their 21st, and San Antonio getting their 22nd loss of the season. And so far, that will do it. Well, everybody played except for the teams that were postponed. But most evidently, that will be changing tomorrow as Frisco and Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, and Tulsa will make up 2 7-inning games. Did I say up twice? It was a up. But anyway, yeah, do apologize for the little stutteriness, but most evidently, it'd be a whole lot better. But anyway, we'll head now to Thursday the 28th. And so far, hope everybody had a pretty good night, even though that there was 4 ball clubs playing, and 4 of them ball clubs were South Division ball clubs, which that's pretty nice. But anyway, a pretty good one. Well, anyway, as we close out tonight, and so far, Corpus Christi now tying up against Midland. Rockhounds and Hooks now tied at 21 even, so it's a foot race between the 2 ball clubs. Frisco will be the meet in the middle with 23 and 21. Amarillo now in the foot race against San Antonio, and so far, pretty good. Well, Arkansas, 28 and 18, even though postponed against the Frisco Rough Riders tonight. Tulsa, 26 and 19. They get postponed against Northwest Arkansas. Wichita, 21 and 25, and Springfield and the Wind Surge were off tonight. But most evidently, just the 4 ball clubs only in tonight's live broadcast. Well, anyway, let's go over runs, hits, and errors. First for the victorious Corpus Christi Hooks, 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Hooks. And for San Antonio, it's 2 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Joseph Sullivan is Topps player of the game, 3 for 4, a home run, and 3 bases. The win will get credited to Glenn Otto Jr., who takes the win for the Hooks, and Omar Cruz getting the loss for San Antonio tonight. But anyway, we welcome you to the after-game show, and gotta say, so far it was a pretty nice night. I mean, no severe weather. The moon is out in full, and so far it was a really nice night for San Antonio, and I mean, pretty good there in this one. Well, anyway, been one heck of a day, and we just really like the fact that we came out and had a pretty good time, and we enjoyed this ball game. All of us did. It was a great day today. Why not? Well, anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this live broadcast tonight. And our final, the Corpus Christi Hooks 5, San Antonio Missions 2. And so far, we will see y'all again tomorrow evening for our Taco Bell Value Night. Flying Chocolates come back tomorrow evening. So we will see y'all again on this one. And so far, thank y'all for joining us. Have a good night. Bob, have a good night. Yep, good night there, John, and see y'all later.